What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Golden Dice Podcast. We are doing our Monday weekly spoiler review. It is not just me this time. I have Brian. Brian, how are you?
Real good. So
How's
good.
that poppin', dude?
So good, brother.
Dude, the poppin' kind of looks like your bald head, actually.
Hold on. Let me get a little. Let me find the right one. Actually, yeah, though.
Extra frosty. That's perfect. That's perfect. Well, for me, I'm having a glass of wine to celebrate. I've not had a podcast with Flocker Scott for the last 2 weeks because I did the solo one and then I missed the podcast this week.
Is your wine coordinating colors with your shirt right now?
The wine's darker.
Kind, a little bit.
But yeah, so we're gonna jump right in because we got 23 spoilers this week. So hopping in, I'll go ahead and take the first one. We've got the Rokai gunship, 2-cost space unit, just aggression, 2 attack, 1 health, underworld vehicle fighter. When defeated, deal 1 damage to a unit or base. It's a common. Draft.
That's our common out, right?
But I mean, it truly isn't terrible. I mean, it's probably not going to make its way into lists, but in reality, it's a 3-1.
Yeah.
Because it'll trade with everything. You know what I mean? It's a 2-drop that if villain. I mean, villain has the TIE fighter now, for a 3 in space, but it can trade into A-wings.
I think if you get 3 out of this, you're okay with it. If it lives a turn, it swings and it dies. I think it's fine. Like I said, like you said, not really premiere worthy. I don't know, but not the worst.
The one thing is definitely sad that it dies.
Yes.
To everything, and it's at least I still got a damage out of it, but it's paid 2 to do damage to base. It doesn't feel as good. And there's a lot of pings coming up that we'll see. I mean, in set 1, right? There's Vader, and then there's making openings. There's OBs. There's a bunch of stuff that just pings all around. And then set 2, we already got Bosk, and we already got Cad Bane for 2 leaders that can consistently do it. Now, both of them have requirements, but 1 health is just a detriment, even though you are doing 3 damage.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, no further comments. I mean, we're already 30 seconds on this common single aspect, which we all know are
we do this every time. No.
Draft cards.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree, though. There's nothing that can be said that we haven't said already.
Yep.
So,
next up.
I'm going to take the next one. Yeah. Dryden Vos is a unique, cunning, villainy, 7-cost, legendary unit, 5/7 underworld. Right on cue. I'm telling you, every time.
She knows you're talking.
Comes in shielded. She thinks I'm talking to her. Comes in shielded when played. Choose a captured unit guarded by a unit you control. You may play it for free under your control. Now, that's spicy. That's spicy. I like that a lot.
This is
I got this too.
Currently before this, capture was fine. There's not a whole lot of payoff. It just kind of slowed the game down, and then when they caught up, it was you then could be overwhelmed by all the stuff. But I mean, Dryden Vos is a really good payoff, because not only do you take their unit away, you then play it for free under your control. So then when it dies, it's gone.
Yeah. Pretty big. Pretty huge. It's like a change of heart on a stick, right?
Yeah.
But this stays,
And he's funny too that, generally our later drops you don't want to bounce back. Thinking say I'm the yellow villain player. If I generally when I play, I mean, I guess Vader and Dooku aren't maybe the best examples because you don't hate when they get bounced because they have on plays, but his is just I will gladly play him at 7 to play one of the capture cards, and then if I still have a capture card McClunky and him, and then play him again. There's just some really funny plays where I actually wouldn't mind paying him twice because the swing of stealing a unit fully is pretty crazy, which we've seen from Palpatine, and him going into a Palpatine deck is going to be really funny too.
Yeah, on top of that, stats just look really good. I think he's really well costed. So
yeah, I mean, he's generally on par, right? The What, Vader's 5'7",
Vader's also 5'7",
and Luke's 6'7",
and shielded.
so
Like you can trade
shields.
out some things with him, and so I mean he's really gonna stick around too, unless you McClunky him for more value. I mean, you can swing, trade with something, and then McClunky him. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of options you can do with him. So I like him a lot. Good L.
Yeah, legendary. Big fan, big fan. These legendaries have been like a lot of fun, like to look at and read so far. They've all generally been interesting. The giant ship, whatever that one was probably the least interesting for me so far.
Finalizer. Yeah.
Finalizer, yeah. But anyways, moving on to the next one. We got triple dark raid, 3-cost event, cunning, villainy, it's a tactic. Search the top 7 cards of your deck for a vehicle and play it. Put the other cards on the bottom of your deck in a random order. It costs 5 less and enters play ready. Return it to its owner's hand at the end of the phase. And I mean, full disclosure, Brian and I did do some played like set 2 game. Well, really, I played with Cad Bane and Brian still played with Chewbacca. This is rare, by the way. This was pretty good. Like, I didn't even do anything crazy with it, but I think I like played this to then play Strafing Gunship because I didn't have anything else on that turn, and then like Strafing Gunship killed your ground thing, bounced back to hand, healed the damage, and then that cost 4, so then I got to play it the next turn. Anyways, but there's some interesting lines too of like cheating. You spend 3 for this, and then the fire spray now costs 1, so you're paying 4 total. So it's like getting that out early, doing 5, and it's like, yeah, it bounces back to hand, but you also paid for it like 2 rounds early. So like being able to then play it again is super interesting. So I don't know. Yellow villain space is a little weird.
It's like sneak attack, but like with way more.
But the search is nice though. Like that's the nice part about this is you only need this in hand.
Don't have to have it in your hand, yeah.
But then your deck will have to. You can sneak attack anything, whereas this has to be vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I dig it. I mean, 7 cards does feel pretty tight. Like I said, yellow villains. Like think of like even like green boba or yellow boba. Like especially yellow boba has like what the cartel spacers, the 7th fleet, and fire spray, and like nobody even likes playing the cartel. And obviously, if you hit the cartel, if you hit any 2-drop with this, it's like.
Yeah. Right.
Like you want to at least like even out and hit the 7th fleet or something, but
I'm thinking about like a late game Palpatine looking for not even late game, like mid game pulling out a Devastator and putting it back. I mean that could be something. Because what you need, spend 3, pay 5, so you could do it on 8.
Yep.
Come out a little early, defeat something, defeat a big thing. I mean that's.
That'd be doing 8 damage or something. Right?
8 damage.
8 resources.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. So I mean, there's options. Yeah, it's cool.
This doesn't feel like a meta staple, but it'll it seems like it could be decent, like a 1 or 2 of it or something. And
I think it's a little too restrictive to be in everything.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, most definitely. All right. On to a leader.
Yeah, Qi'ra is a 5-cost vigilance villainy ground unit. Obviously, 'cause she's leader. So her ability is you spend 1 and exhaust her to deal 2 damage to a friendly unit, then give a shield token to it. She comes out on 5, and she is a 0/8 with grit. Underworld. When deployed, heal all damage from each unit, then deal damage to each unit equal to half its remaining HP rounded down. So that's on both sides and on her, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yep. Heal all damage from each unit.
Yep.
Then deal damage to each unit. So you're doing both sides of the board.
So she's interesting in that sense. I think again, much more skilled players will figure out a spot to play with her. I mean, it's got to be nothing but grit.
Yeah.
Because Scout Bike and I mean I don't even know what else has grit. I'm blanking right now. Like anything in the new set. Yeah, Baze.
I mean, yeah. Then there was like the Sinar sandwich, who we'll get to, but she looks pretty terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually interesting that she does trade with everything, and she doesn't feel like she needs to be a leader that you hit 5, you deploy her. She definitely can be one where it's like, oh crap, there's up to 8 health unit that's on the board that I need to kill, and she's a good
Use her
answer for
offensively
that.
instead of defensively.
Yeah.
Interesting. A First Light. I just found First Light has grit.
Oh yeah.
So
What
you
is it?
do, it's the 4/7 with grit, and then everything else gets grit. So
Maybe.
that's good, I guess.
Maybe.
I'm reaching here. I'm reaching, but I'm not that tall, So,
Yeah. I
I don't
mean,
know.
I think she will be solid, but in my mind, I don't have a deck built yet, or even a color pairing, simply because this feels like a character where you want. And she's rare. And Tyler even said, like, set 2 leaders and cards in general won't be as obvious as to what is necessarily good. So, she might just take a moment. I think she'll be good. I encourage anybody to get games with her and probably come to a similar conclusion. But where she lands, I'm not that smart. Not that smart.
Nor I. Nor I. So,
But I like
she
it a lot.
interests me.
We finally got her art. People were
Yeah.
curious because we got her the hero one
Mhm.
the week before, and we're like, oh, we're still missing that artwork that they showed. But yeah. Cool.
She interests me a lot.
Yeah. And
Anyway.
here we go. Here we go. We got LOM Pike. A dealer in truce. He's a ground unit, 4 cost, vigilance, villainy, 4 attack, 6 health, underworld, on attack. You may give a shield token to an enemy unit. If you do, give a shield token to a friendly unit. Smuggle for 5 with those same aspects, vigilance and villainy. This is one where, too, it's like...
I'm not smart enough for this card.
Yeah, I mean, like...
4/4/6 isn't bad, though.
There'll be some things where, like... if you can, like, shield your correct thing and shield something from them that you don't care about, like, that's obviously the power of play, to then flip her, to then it'll heal your unit fully, and then the damage will be absorbed by the shield. So, like, yes, there's something. 4/6 is also, like, decent stats for, 4 drops, so the stats. And it's a May, so, like, you could simply play 4. Smuggle flexibility, like we've talked about, could warrant its play enough for that. But, yeah, I mean, Blue Villain does get through shields a lot, too, right? So giving away a shield isn't the worst thing in the world with takedowns, with vigilance, make an opening, Rival's Fall that we'll see in a second, Vanquish, yeah. And then Blue Villain has, like, Dooku, and even has some pings with, like, Death Trooper and whatnot, so.
This is going right in my Hondo deck.
Yeah, hey, smuggle for 5, bring out a 5/7.
Mm-hmm. That is really good.
that
is busted.
Really good.
Yeah, it's fine. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's a rare, and same thing. Like, I think it'll, like, let's try it in a Qi'ra deck. Let's go through some iterations. Let's figure out where's the value of giving out the shield and giving yourself a shield, and how can you take advantage of that to the most? Will just be the question.
I mean, maybe with some Sentinel stuff, I don't know. I could
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Blue does, right? I mean, you're in there for the long run, and you kind of want to stabilize, and that could be something. It just depends. I mean, it's a situational thing.
Yeah, and I mean, it'll help keep some of those ones alive. I mean, between this and, like, Kira's leader side, like paying 1 to deal 2 to a friendly unit, give it a shield token, like, you can definitely have some good staying power. And then if you run Security Complex, mono blue, give a shield from your base as well, an epic action. There's just a lot of ways for, your stuff to stay alive and keep it shielded and keep it around. But, yeah.
The possibilities are unlimited.
Yeah. All right, on the next one.
Anywho, Street Gang Recruiters, a 5-cost aspectless 4/4 underworld ground unit. When played, you may return an underworld card from your discard pile to your hand. Sure is aspectless. Sure is sauceless. So draft
the
limited.
aspectless have actually seemed interesting, but not like this one really. I don't think it's a terrible one played. This will be fine in draft. But yeah. And
what other aspectless one were
Lady Proxima and the Mandalorian guy.
Cool. Yeah.
Those were the other 2 I was thinking of, at least. But, like, set 1, there's no good aspect cards except for the fact that, like, restock can fix itself, which probably shouldn't have been a part of the rules. Like, anyways, so it's hard to say set one. Like I've never seen anybody play Underworld Thug or Volunteer Soldier seriously that isn't Tyler Flockton.
I was gonna say Flockton would be so upset with you right now.
And I know that ATRT got put into some like Boba Yellow list, but that generally hasn't been seen, especially since Mike won the Connecticut one, and his list didn't have it in there. And I haven't seen ATRT since then, really.
That's a Mike thing. So yeah.
Oh yeah, he's a good player. So if he's not running them, you gotta ask yourself, why would you?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But,
he is the move, the wave.
Yeah. All right. Next one, also not like super exciting. It's a 2-cost event, Midnight Repairs, double vigilance for its aspects. It's a tactic. It's an uncommon. Heal up to 8 total damage from any number of units. Like that's a lot to heal. And in just how often am I going to be healing, even for like
Qi'ra
6?
goes right in Qi'ra, dude. Right in Qi'ra.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
For some reason, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like the mono deck, like it definitely could be interesting, right? Because if you use her leader side a bunch,
I mean, if you flip her, that too. If you flip her though, and you deal all the damage, you could heal all the damage, and your opponent has all the damage left. I'm just again reaching. I'm not very tall, but
like obviously, if this could do base too, like that'd be insane for 2 costs.
yes.
But yeah, it being limited to like 8's a big number, but how often am I going to relevantly heal like 8? I don't know.
You have to have a board for that. I mean, it's so say I don't even know, man. Heal redemption back from your, Plus, it's double vigilance too, which really restricts it as well. So,
Yeah.
meh.
Yeah. I just not totally sure. I could see like Akira, like you said. I could see even like Chirrut, just heal a bunch off him because he could feasibly get 7 damage on him alone.
Yeah.
So maybe, but also this next card is what makes Chirrut cry.
I'm so conflicted on this next card, honestly. I really don't know where I stand, but I'll read it first.
Hit it.
So, Rivals Fall is a 6-cost vigilance event tactic. Defeat a unit.
That's
anything.
leaders.
Anything. So, now I'm crying, right? Because, like, the heroes that are coming out before 6, alright, you got a little time to, like, spread your wings and fly. Anything that comes out after 6 can just immediately get shut down. It feels like a super laser blast almost in some instances, right? Like,
I mean, you are
you gotta
like
just play it. You're done.
I mean, it'll depend. So, like think about like 6 and what I could do, and if you only answer with this, like what other leaders come out at 6? Like, I'm thinking like Luke or Mando. Right at
Luke,
6.
Mando,
Cad Bane, like some of the new ones coming up. So it's like if you trade that, but then also I play like a 4 and a 2, and like your whole turn was just killing my free leader, like it's not bad. I'll still need to trade back into your leader, but I do think leaders need an answer, because like what answer is Chirrut other than take down the second he deploys?
Yeah, sure. Like Vader too. This is a good one.
Yeah.
Thrawn, he's 9. That's a big booty. Palpatine, that's a big booty. Like,
yeah, because I do think leaders needed something. Like,
sure,
we just needed like, yeah, there was nothing that actually really worked aside from like chip damage into a takedown or like a surprise strike into them or something like that. So I do think the game needed something like this, but as a person who's played Chirrut for extraordinary amount of time the last month or two,
yeah.
Obviously that makes me sad. Because even if I like suit him up and go crazy on his deploy turn, you just, you open up next turn and you hit that. And now again, like, I could have a decent turn after that. I could play, what, like, I guess, what are my 6? My 6 is Vigilance and, like, Obi-Wan. Like, Obi-Wan kind of feels bad, but at least he's then on the board for, like, Luke to hit, and, there's some play arounds there, but.
I mean, you kind of have to feel it out, right? It could be immediately for a leader. It could be for a big bomb like a Devastator, like a
Well, yeah, it
Finalizer.
depends on the deck, right? Yeah, if it's Chert,
Yeah,
you want to rip this on Chert very likely. But yeah, if you're playing like a, against Palpatine, like then it's a decision of like, do I
I
need to kill
know something else
Palpatine or
is
do I need to
coming,
kill the
and
Avenger? Yeah.
yeah, because for like I don't know if I really. I mean, I can stop that in so many ways, but then you drop a Devastator, you drop an Avenger, like you drop a Finalizer. Those are a little harder to get through, right? You can't just take down. You might be able to Vanquish if you're running Vanquish over this, or this over the Vanquish. And that's another question of like, what spot does this take? What slot is this going to go in? Because the blue package is so strong, right? I mean, I feel like Takedown still stays. Vanquish and this are probably competing for a spot.
Yeah, Vanquish is even getting cut from a lot of
Vanquish is already on the
decks.
fringe.
Yeah.
I maybe running it as a one of because if someone
There's more
drops an
sideboard
Avenger or
generally.
Devastator,
What it went
that too,
into.
yeah. So I mean, this might be the new sideboard card of.
I think I would run this over like Vanquish. Like I generally didn't play at 5. Like when I sideboarded it in, it was 4 like Devastators and 4 like Fett's Fire Spray, and 4 some of those cards. And I'd rather just run this, so I have the flexibility to like hit a leader if I need
A leader,
to.
right? Yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna start running yellow blue, and then Bib's gonna carry me with this one. Do it for 5 instead.
I like how I like how Vanquish is Vader throwing Palp, and then Rivals Fall is Luke and Vader battling out with Palp in the background. I almost wish Takedown was like another play off that. Instead, Takedown's just Iden Versio kicking somebody in the face.
Someone in the face, yeah.
Curb stomping him.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I really like this. I mean, I think it's going to be in the deck. I think it is good for the game generally. I know it can definitely will feel bad. It's like, I can't deploy my leader, but, also you should be able to burn them. If you're obviously Sabine will do it, but like, I'm even thinking, like I said, like the Churts and the hot, like if the 5 and 6 costs, it's like you should generally be able to deploy. Like if your opponent's sitting on 6 resources and they're vigilance, hero or villain, like maybe think about the actions you can take to delay them. And if they just keep passing, play everything and then claim, you know what I mean? So they just wasted 6.
Yeah. I am surprised to see a card like this so early. I don't know. I was expecting it a little later. I mean, there's got to be something that takes care of leaders, like you said. But like, I thought we were going to be able to run rampant with our leaders for a little bit longer and just kind of terrorize whoever. But
dude, think about like how close Chert is right now. It's like you give him another set and like more Force stuff to mess with, more upgrades. Like you'd have been kind of nasty, and then even stuff like Vader, like giving him more to it, like some of those big boys. So yeah.
Makes me think twice about running Vader, especially.
I mean, yeah, it would have to be like a non-all-in type thing. That's what like Chert probably has to hedge his bets a little bit more onto like not being all in on his ability and stuff.
Got to be careful.
Yeah. All right. On the next one, we got the Marauder, shuttling the Bad Batch. It is a space unit, 5 cost, command heroism, 4 attack, 5 health, fringe vehicle transport. It has ambush, and has when played, choose a card in your discard pile, put it into play as a resource if it shares a name with a unit you control. And it's a rare. I really like this. This is ramp. This is awesome. Sure, it comes in exhausted, but like, I feel like at 5 resources, I can get this off pretty consistently.
Yeah, with ambush, I mean it's got a lot going on. It's got a lot going on for it.
Yeah.
And it obviously synergizes with Echo, right? Is that the one who did the
Echo's the discard, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean it kind of works with the obviously the Bad Batch. Yeah, I like it. I'm trying to remember what all of them do. Like attack with the smuggle and Echo and
yeah, the ones that actually do synergize are really just Echo. Like Wrecker's just really good.
Yeah. What does Hunter do again?
Crosshair's the other one. Crosshair's villainy.
Return resource. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, his almost doesn't work with it, right? Because he's returning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or he's returning resources to hand is what his. Right?
So,
but I mean, like you could do Marauder to put something in hand. or put something in a resource, right? And then with Hunter, you can then bring it to your hand. So there's that like synergy, but before he's deployed, that is, that'll cost 6 resources total.
But then I did run Hunter, so
yeah, true. I mean, I will be. I definitely will be making a deck and trying to figure him out at least a little bit. But even, like this and Han ramp just feels good. I mean, like just the when played like hero ramp that isn't like terrible.
Yeah.
Like a 5 cost 4/5 in space with ambush, we probably would play that. Like truthfully.
Yeah.
Like it kills a lot of things that even come out on 4 and it still lives. So I mean,
because what's in there right now, like in space for 5, close to nothing, right?
yeah, you're definitely.
I'm looking right now. I can't see anything just yet. Bright Hope
The
is
Survivor's
4.
Gauntlet, the Vigilant Pursuit Craft, the Adelphi Patrol Wing, Marauder, Slaver's Freighter, and Corellian Freighter.
Oh, I'm looking in set 1 still. Like even just that.
Yeah, those are the 5.
I don't
So I
think
mean,
there is
set one literally is the only 5. The only 5 cost in space is a Corellian Freighter.
Oh yeah, Corellian Freighter. Yeah, there's.
So now we got a bunch of 5. So we had 1 in set 1 that was non-aspected.
Yeah.
Now we're already at 5 in this
That's
set.
crazy.
And
yeah,
I mean,
like
this doesn't trade with any of the other 5s, but also doesn't die to any of the other 5s.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, anyway, I think this is good. I think this will be played even in non-hunter decks.
I agree.
All right, on the next one.
Choose sides. It's a plan. It's a 7 cost command event. Choose a friendly non-leader unit and an enemy non-leader unit. Exchange control of these units. This card is so funny to me. This is a Palpatine card, like through and through. I can't wait to play with this card. It's gonna be so dumb. People are gonna lose their cards too. I don't know. It's gonna be.
There's like some really funny lines where like you have a good unit, you kill one of their things, it's damage. You now trade for like a better thing that they just played, and then you like deploy Palpatine and take your damaged good thing back. So it's got. But then also the thing is like you could play a 2-drop and then pay 7 and swap a Marine with a Luke Skywalker or something like that. So
right.
There's some plays there which are funny. Don't know the power level on this, but is at least interesting.
I mean, it is interesting. That's for sure. It's only a rare too. I mean, like it's a semi change of heart permanently. Like it's in between traitorous and change of heart. Like, but
actually, it costs more than.
But you keep it.
No,
but you keep it, and it's not just for the phase. I mean, I think it's really good, personally. I think it's really annoying. It's probably irritating. Like, you could take a Sentinel that they have. You could take, something that's a threat. There's so many. It's so versatile. I really dig it. It is just so expensive. It's appropriately costed, but it is expensive.
Yeah. If you can get this off for like a huge trade, it can definitely be a blowout.
Bib brings it in 1 less. Again, all these cards.
Palp Yellow is lining up for you.
Palp Yellow. I'm making the swap, baby.
All right, on to the next one. Stolen Land Speeder. It's a 1-cost ground unit, aggression, 3 attack, 2 health, underworld vehicle speeder. When played, if you played this unit from your hand, an opponent takes control of it. And then it has a bounty. If you own this unit, play it from your discard pile for free and give an experience token to it. It's a rare. Like, sure. I struggle to see practical ways where this, like, yes, you probably can always kill it turn 2, but like, do I want to just give them a 3/2 for free? That I sure I then get a 4/3 in response when I do kill it, but it's like, unless I can play this and then play Dengar, and my leader's Bosk, and then I play a bounty on this to ping it with Dengar and then ping it with Bosk, and then I get it. Like, outside of that situation, I don't think it's very good. And the situation I just named is a 3-card like combo in your starting hand. That isn't even necessarily like that amazing, because then you're just top decking the rest of the game. Sure, you started with Dengar, who's a 2/2, and you now have a 4/3 on your side, but like,
a lot has to go right.
Yeah, I don't know. I struggle to just see how this works. Works effectively. That isn't super trash.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you're seeing the stonks of 143, but like you gotta work. You gotta work for it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. With that, like, and you don't want to eat that 3 to start.
no,
So.
no. Yeah, I mean, you're spending it. You're spending money to give something to them that can then swing at you. That you then have to work on. Like you're just creating a distraction for yourself. You're making more work.
And it's a
So
terrible McClunky. It's underworld, sure, but it's like the last thing you ever want.
yeah,
McClunky.
right. Nope, not a fan.
All right, you got the next one.
Bravado is a 5. Again, these expensive events. Bravado 5 cost event, just aggression, and if you've defeated an enemy unit this phase, the event costs 2 less to play. Ready a unit. So I like this card. It's big keep fighting, but better maybe or the same or
Yeah.
it's not keep fighting because there's no restriction on it.
Costs 1 more anyway, like even with the discount.
Yeah.
Keep fighting costs 2, right?
I thought it cost 3. Let's look.
I think it's 2, ready, unit 3 or less. Power.
I think you're correct. It's 2.
Yeah.
You're correct. I got my numbers mixed up.
So, yeah, I mean, the requirement's definitely pretty easy to hit if you defeat a unit, and then the upside is much higher than that and would cost 1 more. So it's interesting. You know, the fact that I could put a fallen lightsaber on my Grand Inquisitor and still ready him and not be out of the range of keep fighting with him is interesting. But it's hard to say. I don't think the card is like terrible by any means, but I think you'll probably want to like have your deck in mind when you're building this a little bit of like stuff you can easily trade and units that you want to ready and kill with too.
I don't know why my mind immediately goes to Mace Windu when you like reset and then you swing and then you reset again with this.
Yeah, because I mean that'd be 10 to base and you killing something.
Yeah.
Which I mean, well, that would need to be a 10 resource turn.
I mean, if Mace is already out.
Yeah.
Then,
he barely sticks around though because he's taking damage because he wants to swing into stuff. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's some like blowout plays. Fairyland is like Avenger, right? Because one attack will defeat something. You ready the Avenger. You hit for 16.
Blue-red.
Blue-red plays that, but also blue-red doesn't really play units, so it's like this card is dead until Avenger.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's weird. It's odd. I don't think it's a bad card. I think it's niche though.
Yeah, I agree. All right.
All you.
On to the next one. Cad Bane, he who needs no introduction. Apparently he does because he is cunning villainy. When you play an underworld card, you may exhaust this leader. If you do, an opponent chooses a unit they control, deal 1 to them. So we didn't even do this right. Didn't I just like ping your stuff? I don't remember if it was ever relevant.
I gotta be real with you. I just trusted you.
Yeah.
The entire time. You read it to me and I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So let me read it again.
I might get roasted on two. Like you pick. We were playing it where I just pinged. But I don't remember if it was relevant. Like you might have only had like 1 unit on the board.
Opponent chooses a unit they control, deal damage to it, and then when you flip, it's the same thing, just 2. I really don't remember, actually.
Yeah. Like there was probably definitely times where I did it because I pinged a few times. But how much it mattered each round, I have no idea.
I don't know. I think that you also captured a bunch of my stuff. I don't think I had a lot going on because I
don't think I ever gained a crazy advantage by it, but I'm certain there might have been. Like I might have pinged a shield off of that Sentinel, that 3 costs. Or no, you didn't. No. I didn't play Captain. I was playing Chewie. I killed the wing leader the one time, and it's like, you could have kept that 2-1 in space.
That too might have won me the game. It wouldn't.
No, it wouldn't have.
Yeah, I was so far off anyway.
That is good to point out, though. Yeah, that now that we got to reread this and we're
so Jack's a big dirty cheater.
Of someone only one glass of wine that's not even finished compared to other gameplay nights.
Right.
Anyways, to finish him, he comes out at 6. He's a 2/8 underworld bounty hunter. He has raid 2, and then his ability's the same, but it deals 2 on the flip side. So 4/8 in a sense, and he's really good. And he pairs with a card that I thought wasn't super good. Relentless Pursuit, I believe is the name of it. It's a 3 cost capture unit if it's a bounty. bounty hunter give that character a shield. And the cost has to be equal or less, I believe. Which I captured like Kanan and Yoda or something.
You captured Obi?
Which still works at 6.
The patrol craft, yeah.
No, it was Kanan and Kanan and the patrol craft. Because Kanan, you slap the lightsaber on. And
That's what it was. Yep.
But yeah, I mean, that was, leader, like, that's a really good thing. And that's where you probably need rivals fall, because Cad Bane had.
It was incredibly unfun. I will tell you right now.
But you milled both my Dryden Vosses, so I couldn't play one of them for free because you vigilanced me to make the game go longer.
That did, yeah. Well, honestly, I think that's probably the last time I played Mono Visions, Chewy, because I think no one enjoys it, including me, but most definitely people that are watching.
Just play Qi'ra. Like, Luke is still too restricted because not only are you one aspect, you also need heroes from units. Whereas Qi'ra can just ball out for now. But yeah, Cad Bane, I like him a lot. I think the ping is going to be relevant even if your opponent does choose. There's a lot of good underworld cards that, like, I got to play and, like, consistently was able to get off a lot of good stuff. Lady Proxima I had on the board pinging damage to base, but also pinging damage to one of your things, and then doing McClunky to take something back, and that's also an underworld card. So it's like there's a lot of synergies in which he can really do a lot of damage from these pings, and even if you don't get to pick where it goes, it's still pretty good.
I had no idea what was going on in that game. I'll be straight. There's so much.
I don't think you ever know.
Well, that night in particular, I was just not.
There was a point where I had Lady Proxima out. I played McClunky, and so I did the McClunky damage, I did the Cad Bane damage, and then I did the Lady Proxima damage. It was fun.
Was it?
Yes, very, very fun. All right, next one.
There's a lot of good synergies in that deck. So the next one is Covert Strength, a 1-cost vigilance event, a tactic. Heal 2 damage from a unit and give an experience token to it. Smuggle 3-cost vigilance. That's cool.
Love the artwork on this.
Yes, yeah, the armor smacking, taking out kneecaps, I think this is a neat card, but it's like not one of those that's gonna make a 60. It's probably a limited card. Heal 2 and give an experience for 1 is not bad, but do I want to slot picking that up, or
I kind of dig it, like in Qi'ra, actually. Like, experience tokens on him are nice. You can go
talk
above
about
the damage.
Another deck besides Qi'ra. I challenge.
I just talked. All right, ECL Qi'ra with Wrecker.
It's me and Palpatine too. I get it. I totally understand.
But I say the heal because something that, like, can consistently live around. Like, everything else has the ability to die to just one card, in a sense. You know what I mean? Like, even your big stuff, like, yes, I could play Luke, but there's still the worry he gets, like, vanquished, or, like, I have to play around Power of the Dark Side. Whereas, like, Qi'ra is always going to live, even if you smack damage into him, and this means you have to do a total of 8 to him the turn he deploys to kill him, right? Because
unless do you hear that? Do you hear that calling? It's rivals.
Rivals. Going back to a few cards before. Yeah. Not saying this makes a 60 because, like, even right now I'm, like, trying to think, what does this take the place of? Maybe it binds all things. But, like, it's a pretty tight list already. But I do like the fact that you can smuggle it too. Like, I think it is, like, worth it to some of these cards that maybe, like, aren't super good, but they essentially give you, like, a second hand.
Binds all things, though. I mean, binds all things is so good.
I mean, it can be a blowout, but sometimes just healing too, giving XP can be nice. And the thing about IBAT is that it's, like, so situational sometimes that, like, I have to resource it at some points because I'm just not going to get it off, and I need to play the other card that I would resource. Whereas this, like, the flexibility of the smuggle is pretty nice, and it costs 1 less.
The smuggle does make it. Yeah, I think the smuggle makes it a little more viable. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yep. All right. You read that one. I have the next one. We got a 4-cost event. Rule with respect. It's a plan. It's command. It's heroism. A friendly unit captures each enemy non-leader unit that attacked your base this phase. It's legendary. In case you didn't catch that, this is legendary.
I didn't catch that, actually. That's cool. I didn't notice that before.
Yeah, I mean, like, I see the blowout plays. I see Sabine hit your base with 3 units. You play this, you capture 3 units. Like, there's definitely some, like, high plays that, like, aren't crazy obscure. but it still feels like a little weird.
So
Eh,
who are you playing? Who are you planning to capture all those with? Right, because it's got to be something that's maybe a boba leader, maybe like maybe something that's a big booty. But
I mean, if I capture, like, if I'm going against Sabine and I capture 3 units, like, I think I'm actually just okay with anything above 4 health. Because if they wing leadered anything, it loses experience there. When this eventually does die, that means they had to commit to killing a unit rather than attacking base. And then when it comes back, everything's exhausted. So like you could buy yourself like a decent amount. So I don't hate it, but yeah, you're gonna want to give it to something that is beefy. Ideally can stick around, has shielded on it, maybe a leader who's not a suspect to waylay or anything like that.
it's interesting.
Yeah, yeah, I don't think it's bad, but
I don't know if I
a
love
little
it
more, a
though.
little
It's
more
cool.
narrow. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, you got the next one.
Bounty Hunter's Quarry is a 1-cost command upgrade. Attached unit gains bounty. Search the top 5 cards of your deck or 10 instead if this unit is unique for a unit that costs 3 or less and play it for free. That's cool.
I kind of like this.
That's cool. Yeah.
Like
The
it's not,
search,
yeah, it's
it's
not like
like
a
Vader.
specific. It's just any 3 cost, 5 or 10, and like with the amount of uniques in this game, it's very likely that you'll be able to hit a 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's very cool, actually.
Yeah, I am definitely a fan of this one off the bat and want to try this out as one of the green bounties might be like guild target's really good in red, the one that deals damage, but like green having the ramp in this one, like really liking the green. Like I want to try boss green first if I was going to do a boss build. I'll leave that to you though. I'm sure you'll craft something real spicy.
Well, but the thing about I will. Spicy is the word. I don't know.
You can
Depending
interpret
that's
that how
good
you
or
want.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the thing about Bosk is these bounties are cheap enough that some of them, if they're decent enough, like you could run them at an aspect. They're not that expensive. This at 3, I feel, is still decent if you're running. But if you're running Bosk, and Bosk is out, and then this triggers twice.
Sure.
I mean, so no other bounties outside of Bosk, out of
But I
aspect,
don't.
probably not.
But I don't think any of the other bounties are that bad to where you would rather put this for 3 over them. Because I think one of the best parts of bounties is that they're pretty much 2 or less, and it lets you
Yes.
play like out of board.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this does. But yes, I do agree that the fact like this for 3 and you get a 3 and you search with it like is pretty good. And like yeah, I mean I think that's worth a look, but I just feel like getting away from like the 0 and the 1 cost bounties can be a little rough, curve wise.
Sure.
Except for the one that lets you ramp. Like that's the only reason I would pay 2 for 1 is because I get a resource with it.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm still starting to think about Bosk and all of that as far as what bounties I want, and I don't know. I saw Jeremy run that the Bosk Blue on stream, and
He healed a bunch.
healed 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean I think that's real. I think it's good.
That is insanity. But this one's very good. I like it.
Yep. All right, next one. Zanadu Blood, I believe that's how you say it.
Mm-hmm.
Space unit, 6 cost, Cad Bane's reward. It is Cad Bane's ship. It's cunning, villainy, 4 attack, 6 health, underworld, vehicle, fighter, raid 2. When played and on attack, you may return another friendly non-leader underworld unit to its owner's hand. If you do, exhaust an enemy unit or resource. We found this to just be really good. Like when this hit the board, like
I was sad.
even if I wasn't like bouncing stuff really that consistently, like just a 6/6 in space is like
Huge.
very threatening. And I understand like it's got for it, so like fire spray can hit into it and not die. And then if I attack its fire spray, then they both die. But I mean, exhausting resources is just kind of crazy. I think this is really good. And there's a lot of cheap underworld units that. There's Lady Proxima. If she ends up not being that good, I only played 2 games with her. But like, there's oh gosh, there's Greedo. There's like even that other like one like there's actually so many underworlds that I'm starting to lose track of like who is an underworld and who isn't. But I mean, there's a lot of cheap stuff that you can bounce back, and also stuff that like has on plate effects. Like if you bounce a cartel spacer and then get to play it again to exhaust a 4 cost unit, like there's some just really good like synergies and cheap stuff that you don't mind bouncing all the time.
This definitely felt good.
Crafty Smuggler, yeah, I forgot about that. That's a good one to bounce.
Yeah, yeah. This definitely felt good on your side, bad on mine. So, and especially you had the combo you had with Lady Proxima, where you when played on attack, when played on attack, and you just exhausted stuff, pinged, exhaust stuff. I mean, it's super annoying.
And it was the Reckless Gunslinger, like is Underworld too, and that's the one that deals damage to each base. And like that is really good because it's smuggle too, so I can send her away early, and then when I finally have Xanadu's Blood going, like then I can start playing them from my resource, even if I didn't have them in hand, because I still have something else that I want to play. So yeah, I mean, I like it.
It gets out of hand pretty quick. All these combos and synergies and stuff with the when played on attack, return,
I like
remove, exhaust, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Yeah. It goes well in the next card, which I'm going to read.
Go?
Lady Proxima is a...
We've mentioned her a few times.
Yeah, I think she's going to be a pretty big part of the set. That's just my opinion. Especially since you said all these Underworld cards are getting out of control. So Lady Proxima is a 1-cost ground unit, aspectless, sauceless, White Worm Matriarch. 0 attack, Underworld, 4 health. When you play another Underworld card, you may deal 1 damage to a base. And on first glance, I made the mistake of being like, meh, it's fine.
And truly, it was the first round, so like I had no idea either to be like,
yeah,
do you care to kill her? Or does she's an aspectless card, so she might just do nothing. But her being 1 cost and having 4 health, like, is
that's
good.
That's a tough trade.
And then just like the one ping is like relevant. But even if she like didn't have that, it's not terrible because she's Underworld, so she works with, the card we just showed, and McClunky, and like some of these other Underworld like trait stuff.
Yeah.
So,
do not underestimate Lady Proxima, as I did. I made that mistake, and I paid for it.
I mean, it definitely could be the case of we played with unoptimized decks. We didn't know what we were doing. I was choosing some of the pings like, and that not for her, for Cad Bane's ability. Hers, I'm not choosing my base incorrectly. I was always choosing prized for that, but so like not a whole lot of data to draw from 2 games of that, but it certainly is interesting that she did feel good for an aspectless card.
For a 1-drop aspectless card, I mean, she felt very, very strong.
Yeah, 4 health. Like it does stink that she doesn't trade anything, but generally it'll take 2 attacks, and I can usually bounce her before that happens. And also the pirated Starfighter, like that's Underworld, and it bounces her. So I mean, it's pirated Starfighter's looking pretty good too this set. So yeah,
all of this just keeps getting out of hand.
Yeah, that Cad Bane deck was a lot of fun. Like I actually might start with him now. I was planning. Who was I planning? I was like Lando is kind of like my top one, but now I'm like, I don't want to play Cad Bane. That was a lot.
You don't want to do
that. We'll see how he goes. Yeah. All right. On the next one, Sinar San ground unit, 4 cost, vigilance, villainy, loyal to Kragan, 3 attack, 6 health, Underworld, grit. And then says, while this unit is exhausted, she gains bounty. Deal 5 damage to a base. Uncommon. I don't know. Like, again, I could see things where, like, you play her, you do Qi'ra's ability. She's now a 5/4 with a shield. Like, that's certainly not bad. I would probably play a 5/4 with a shield. But the bounty is just crazy.
Bosk. Yeah, I don't know. She just seems like a very
even beyond it's just like
high
she's
risk
gonna die. Like
character. Yeah,
I don't think she does enough to warrant
me
dying. But
and like you slap some upgrades on her and like maybe, but still like you're still taking 5 to the base and that could swing a game. So I don't know. I'm personally too much of a coward to run this card, and much less at 3. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
I don't
know.
know. Yeah, I will likely try her out, but also like
Oh, I definitely will.
I'm more interested in trying the other 4-drop we saw earlier,
Hmm.
the Pike one that that
Yeah.
gives a shield. Then you can give a shield. The LOM Pike.
LOM Pike.
Yeah. Like I feel like I'd rather try him first in that same slot with Qi'ra, but like I said, like she could be decent. She could be one that is nice to give shields to. You know what I mean? So, and I mean there could be worlds where like you can make the plays to where you're either getting a trade that you want with her or your opponent's taking initiative or claiming, and then you get to hit the base with her. You know what I mean? Like you're if you have her, you generally won't just open attack with her. You know what I mean? Like you'll probably want to play other cards, do other things, and then like, oh, they finished attacking with the stuff that can kill her. Yeah, now I'll attack and do 5 to base or something.
Yeah, and I mean, you could mitigate the damage to your base by pulling her with McClunky, pulling her with Xanadu Blood, like something like that, where she does her job, and then you pull her back, and then But I mean, it's tough. Like you gotta play that game of like, do they have something that could take this out with a card, with a unit? Do I have time? Like, will I time this right, or am I taking 5 to base regardless?
Yep. 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 Yep.
So it's tough. It's weird. I'll try her, but not too excited about her.
You got the next one. You got your boy.
Holy Maul, formerly Darth. Uh, Maul is a 7-cost command villainy ground unit, 7/6 force underworld ambush overwhelm on attack. Holy crap, they wrote a novel on this one.
He's got the most words.
You may choose another friendly underworld unit. If you do, all combat damage that would be dealt to this unit during this attack is dealt to the chosen unit instead. This is going to be a pain in the butt to get
Yeah.
rid of.
Yeah.
And it's going to do a lot of damage. A lot of damage. There are so many things that you could just sponge up with his, they don't have to take the entire, like, it could be a 2
It could
2
be a
health,
Greedo.
Or, yeah, it could be a Greedo.
Crafty.
And then you're getting another
Finish
flip, this is a cool card. And only a rare too. I mean, I'm very fascinated with this card.
Yeah,
Very
I like him and Vader do different things, so it's not like I wouldn't say it's strictly like a budget option, but it's like if you don't have Vader's, like he's probably like a decent
Perfectly
replacement.
good.
I don't think he
Yes.
like goes and takes Vader's place in every deck, but even like even the Boba deck, like that is a lot more underworld and probably will shift a little bit more underworld too. Once that 2 comes out, Boba Green, and he might just be a better finisher than Vader is in that deck, and like threatening him and the fire spray could be very, very dangerous. And like, dude, he doesn't die to takedown. He's a 7/6,
Nope.
so if you ping damage into something else, like they're gonna have to commit some stuff to take care of him.
Yeah, he's gonna clear out your board.
Yeah.
Clear out your board big time. And he's also got force, which I don't know how relevant that is. I mean, but it's always something to consider too. I mean, he turns some things on if you're doing green red. You do force throws and stuff, and
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of things you can do with force. So
Yeah. I guess it'll be. It's like how much. I mean, underworld, like we said, there was like the gunslingers. Like, there's some underworld stuff in there. But yeah, once I see the underworld tag word, my mind is like going to yellow.
yeah, that's fair.
All right, next up, we got Cobb Vanth. We've seen his art for some time on the streams, and we finally have him. I love that he's in the game. He's a 3-cost ground unit. He's the Marshal. He has just 1 aspect command. He's a 3-attack, 2 health, fringe official. When defeated, search the top 10 cards of your deck for a unit that costs 2 or less and discard it. For this phase, you may play that card from your discard pile for free. It's interesting. Like, I think if you're a deck that wants to go wide, he's clearly like a good card in that. It is funny that he's an official.
Yeah.
So, like, Royal Guards will protect him with their lives.
Yeah. I was just thinking about that too. I was gonna say, does this take the place of someone in Palpatine? But like,
he's 3
3/2
though.
kind of
yeah.
3/2 kind of sucks, and 3 cost, like, I can't set it up quite as well as I can with like a Piet or a Yularen. So like, or a scanning officer. Or
Yeah.
the other one that I was thinking of.
Scanning drill. You probably just play scanning. Like if that scanning's like
Oh,
almost like the
yeah.
best turn one official right now. I think. I'm probably
Or the
forgetting
client.
something.
The client is also an official.
The client's
isn't
really good. Yeah, yeah.
he? Yeah. So like,
And he's 2.
I think he's 3. I'm looking.
Isn't it Dr. Pershing that's 2?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Dr.
He's a
Pershing's
good
3.
one too. Yeah, so he's a good one too. Yeah, no, he's just weird, and it's like weird that it's slow and that you have to take another action to play that card from your discard pile. And I'm not sure necessarily what that fully means, like sequence-wise, but it's something to note that you don't just play for free. You have to take an action.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting. Maybe a little weird. Maybe a little too slow. I don't know if
Funky.
he quite makes it, but yeah, if it's a go wide deck, probably.
Funky. Yeah.
All right.
I,
Next one.
this card is whack.
I love this
Freight
card.
Dragon is a 9-cost aggression ground unit, 10/10 creature with Overwhelm. When an opponent plays a card, you may deal damage equal to that card's cost to their base or a ground unit they control.
Legendary.
Yeah, a fat legendary, but also like this card is crazy.
And also note the trigger, even if it dies from whatever's played, you
Yep.
get to do the damage. So if they vanquish this, if they rivals fall this, you get to do 5 or 6 to a base or ground unit.
That's insane.
Yeah. And that's
Actually
crazy that there's like no. It's not like a situation where it's like only ground unit. It's like, oh, I can't deal the. They vanquished me and I can't deal the 5 to the fire spray. I'll just do it to the. You know what I mean? Like you still just do it to base. Yeah, this thing's like kind of nasty. And then you add in like the. If green red villain becomes like a thing, I know it's kind of there a little bit with Palp, but not super. But like having Piet in there and then having the new card Timely Intervention is like smuggle this in and stuff. Like this is actually kind of crazy. 10/10, dude.
Yeah. I don't even know where I'd put this. Maybe Vader.
I'm trying. Yeah.
Like it's just an odd. It's an odd. And it's red too. Like red doesn't scream to me like go long.
Well, I mean
Scott would
the
disagree with
Vader
me.
green does.
That's the only thing I could put. That's the
Or
thing I
it
could put
can.
in, though. Yeah,
It's a little
I
skewed
mean,
more mid range right now, but yeah, it definitely can.
it's an odd placing.
I don't know. Like if this always goes with green for ramp, I don't know that I play the Devastator again. I get there's ups and downs to both, right? And I'm not saying the Devastator's terrible. Devastator could come in and just do 9 or like just blow something off the board. But like if that gets removed immediately, you're like, oh crap. Sure, I just paid this whatever, and then they vanquished it. Whereas this, it's like, all right, they vanquished it. I still did 5 to something.
I almost like would put this in my Palpatine deck out of aspect.
11.
I wouldn't hate it. Play like in a Palp deck that runs like Palpatine's Return and stuff. I don't know. Like you could keep cycling and
That is funny. That yes, you can.
you could return this back and like I don't know.
Palp's
It
Return
would
is
not
actually
be
a
the
crazy
worst.
card. I mean, Palp Red
Palpatine's
might be more
Return is-
decent. You might get like the issue right now is like just some removal and some like early game, but the set could bring some of that.
I'm not going to give Scott the satisfaction in admitting that fact. So,
But he didn't discover the deck from set like when it potentially was really good. He just pulled it and was like, yeah, I'll play red.
yeah,
and
that's
then,
true.
And then did that. But yeah, super interesting card. Really excited to see this hit the table. That like an awesome legendary. That's an awesome legendary.
I wasn't expecting this either. Like,
No, seeing Fell the Dragon
Great
though is now
Dragon?
funny.
yeah.
Makes sense. All right. About to get to an hour in a minute, so let's on to the last one. Kregan Gore, 6-cost ground unit, Villainy, a Warbird captain. 6/6 underworld. When an enemy unit attacks your base, give a shield token to a friendly unit in the same arena as the attacker. Rare. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really like it. I think we're already starting to see stuff that like is a little bit better. Like at 6. Like there's just some other stuff I'd rather play. I mean 6 for 6, like it is nice that he's not like a low curve. Too crazy, but
Number of the beast. I don't know. He's whatever.
Yeah. Shout out to Star Wars Resistance. Kregan Gore. That's what he's from, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Cool.
Sinar saying too.
All right. Well, yeah, we're just over an hour. I mean, do you have any thoughts on Kragan? I mean, I don't think either of us are too excited for it.
I don't really care about Kragan.
Yeah.
He's a rare.
Yeah. You'll be sad when he's in your rare slot, probably.
100%.
Were there any rares in the single aspects this past time?
In the single asset, what do you mean?
Like, for the heroism? Oh, yeah, there's Galactic Ambition and
then You're My Only Hope.
Yeah, You're My Spark Hope.
Yeah, those are the only two, though.
Yeah. All right, so there were some feel-bad ones. I mean, You're My Only Hope is at least somewhat, like, playable in some of these, like, kind of more, like, meme decks a little bit, but also, like, isn't a total meme either. Like, it's a pretty decent card. But Galactic Ambition, you pulled that. But, yeah, if you were in our Discord or saw our Twitter, somebody was like, what's the best use for this card? And I put my beer on it. I was like, it's a coaster. And I still have it right here. Anyways.
I only pulled 3 of those, so I'm chilling.
Of course you did. Of course you only pulled 3 of them and pulled 5 Vaders.
No, I pulled 8 Vaders. Excuse you.
Excuse me. Oh, true, yeah, because then you sold one to me, sold one to Flock.
Mm-hmm.
And
sold one to Ben.
To Ben. Mm-hmm. Then you just sold one to Scott.
Yep. So I've got one left. One outside my play set.
Yeah. All right. Well, sounds good. Appreciate everybody tuning in. As always, these will be posted on Mondays. We got some gameplay coming up. We have the Cad Bane, even though he's misplayed, will be coming out tomorrow. Also interesting, the banner for Shadows of the Galaxy. We're still missing all 3 of these artworks. This Maul, this Afra, and this Cad Bane. So that's super interesting, actually.
Interesting stuff.
But appreciate it. Follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. We are pretty much always up to date on spoilers and keeping everybody informed of what's going on. So be sure to follow us as we always do that. Shout out to all the CCs who got it this week. Appreciate FFG still giving those out, and we'll have those links in the description. So deuces. See y'all next week. Have a great time.